of you guys are aware, I have a service dog. Her name is Ellie. And a lot of you are going around campus have seen that there have been a very big increase in how many support animals and service animals there are around campus. And there is a big part of the population that is not aware of what the struggles are of support animals and service animals are. So a lot of people don't know exactly what service animals do. Most service animals all service animals are there, according to the ADA, they are guide dogs, signal dogs, or other animals trained to provide assistance to a specific individual with a disability. This training is required, and in Kentucky, surprisingly, they only allow service animals to be either a dog or a miniature pony. Don't ask me why, I have no idea. But also, what is an ESA? An ESA is an emotional support animal. Given the name, they are there to give support to a person, not do the same duties that a service dog do. They are just there to help a certain individual a lot of the time with their anxiety or depression, just to help them get through the day. But service animals specifically do a duty such as help someone with their PTSD or someone with seizures. They go around and they alert others and the person who's about to have a seizure. So ESAs can also be any kind of animal. I know from some of the articles that I've read that there have been peacocks, parrots, hamsters, all kinds. So they are not under the same restriction as service animals are. Something that both service animals and emotional support animals have in common is that they are animals. So they all need to eat, they all need to drink, they need to go to the bathroom, they want to play. They're animals. They have basic needs that humans do as well. Something that's different is, again, service animals are specifically there to do a job, and emotional support they don't need to be trained, and they are only there to be support. A lot of people are unaware of what these animals go through, and the people that have them go through. So one thing they go through is discrimination. An article I read called Emotional Support Animals, Service Animals, and Pets on Campus talked a lot about the difficulties that the universities presented with service animals and emotional support animals. A girl, I can't remember where it is, but she was trying to get her emotional support animal on campus, and she presented all the right paperwork, and they rejected her for no specific reason. A lot of universities actually, they are required to follow their specific state's laws about service animals and emotional support animals. But some universities take a lot of leeway with that and stretch it as far as they can. Another article I read talked about some of the difficulties that they face with fraud. So when you try and register an emotional support or a service animal, a lot of them get sued or taken, pretty much closed down because they are illegal. I have had several friends who got in trouble because they registered their service animals with an online website, and that website got shut down and they got in a lot of trouble as well. But they got all of those fixed. They got all their problems fixed. One last article that I read was about the problems that they face when they fly. So there have been many accounts when people take their service, and not only service animals that aren't really well trained, but also emotional support animals that aren't trained at all, on planes, and they have had to make emergency stops for these animals because they get sick or go to the bathroom and they have to bring the hazard team in because no one wants to sit there on a long plane ride with that. But service animals and emotional support animals are a lot alike, but also very different. So when you see a person with a service animal, I want you to take away that if you go to approach them, you are allowed to ask if you can pet them. A lot of the time, if they have their vest on and they're on duty, it's probably best not to go and pet them ahead of time. You can ask, and if they say no, please don't do it. It distracts the animal from their job. There are certain things that you can ask a person with a service animal. With ESAs, it's pretty much just open to the public. But with service animals, there is some privacy that you're required to abide by. I don't know how to, I guess it goes down. See, she's a service dog, but she's still a dog. This is actually a card that I have up here with me that states what you're allowed to ask and what you're not allowed to ask. And yeah, that's it. Any questions?
Okay.
What are some of the questions that worked that you can't ask?
You are not allowed to ask for identification of the service animal. So a lot of them have little, I guess that means certification of them being trained. You're not allowed to ask that. Not even the university is allowed to ask that. You can't ask for what the handler's disability is for. You are allowed to ask what the animal does for that person, but you're not allowed to ask specifically what their disability is. You can't charge them any fees, so housing can't charge me any fees for having her on campus, and people can't refuse you